Hey guys, did an Innistrad draft which was extremely puzzling to some people and less puzzling to others. I don't know. I'm gonna walk through it, talk about picks. So, alright. Straight away, pack 1, pick 1. I think Silent Departure is by miles the best card in the pack. Definitely the most powerful card. Powerful. You might think Mulgraf Monstrosity is the most powerful card, but no, it's not. I would take Grizzled Outcasts over Monstrosity. 7 mana with 3 green. Just that is disgusting to me. I would not want to draft a base green deck in this set. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, really. Like, Chapel Guys is an okay guy, but very unexciting. I think people are coming into this set remembering, I don't know, M12 or something, or maybe other limited formats, where you could really just swing in and win a lot, but like, maybe while we're going through this draft, count how many creatures have 1 more toughness than power, just as an exercise, because that goes a long way towards defining the format. And you can draft aggressive decks, but they're not white, I don't think, and they definitely don't involve 8/8 tramplers. Pick 2. I actually, in retrospect, I think Shimmering Grotto is the pick here. The format is so splash heavy because of all the flashback cards, which just are 2 colors, and you want to play anyway for just one of the colors. I think Shimmering Grotto is probably the pick. Sort of interested. I have off screen. These are Channel Fireball's card ratings. I'm gonna not show you the rest of the stuff. Well, I guess I'm showing you my pick, but I'm sort of interested in seeing what they rate all the different cards. They think Monstrosity is better than Silent Departure. That's totally wrong. Smite the Monstrous is nowhere near as good as Silent Departure either. Maybe I just need to bump up Silent Departure. Yeah, they have Shimmering Grotto at a 6, and I think that's about right. Yeah, I think Shimmering Grotto is the pick here. I took Woodland Sleuth, which I am not a huge fan of. At the time I thought it was a target creature card, not random creature card, so that's part of the excuse. I don't know, I also think it's fine as a 2/3. Grizzled Outcasts is a creature I'm more excited about playing, but it's a 5-drop. I don't know that the format is, I don't know, all that slow. Anyway, Shimmering Grotto, then probably Grizzled Outcasts over Woodland Sleuth. That's what I should have actually done. Selhoff Occultist is a card that may go up in value a lot as the set continues to be drafted, because it seems like a very stall-heavy set, and the Occultist can just deck people out of nowhere, especially if you get more than 1. Plus it's a 2/3 for 3. I expect that card's stock to go up a lot. Pack 3, they're 2 good red removal spells, but I'm just not terribly interested in them. I don't think there are many creatures that you want to remove, really. So, my opinion of removal in this set is that it's fine, for sure. But it's going to tend to just sort of be a dead card in your hand for a long time until you use it on a good creature, unless you need to blow it early on like a 2/1, in which case it would have been better just to have a 2/3 creature in your hand, not Brimstone Volley. So I think it's a powerful card. I think that people are overvaluing it, and the red removal in general, and removal of any sort in general in this set, to be honest. So, I'm going to tend towards drafting the other cards, and my decks are going to be removal light, probably. just because I don't value it as highly as other people, and that's the result. I think Makeshift Mauler is the easy pick. It's my opinion. He's a 4/5 dude for 4. The drawback is pretty insignificant because you want to be filling your graveyard up in the set anyway. Pack 4 and get an Armored Scab, who I think is an amazing dude. I'm very happy to take him. Maybe the next best card is Screeching Bat. The Spider, I don't know. He's okay, but for him to really shine, you need to be playing against a deck that's trying to attack you quickly with flyers and can't deal with a 4/6. Just, I don't know, it doesn't seem like he's that good. I don't think he's anything like Giant Spider and M12. Although green is better in this set than in M12 IMO. I don't even remember what I took out of this pack. I think I took Spider, or maybe Brainweevil. Brainweevil's a pretty sweet card with all the morbid triggers, and also just Mind Rot is fine. There isn't much in the way of card advantage in the format, and so Mind Rotting your opponent is one way to get rid of their bombs. Let's see. I like Stitcher's Apprentice out of this pack. Pretty sure I took Traitorous Blood, but yeah, I think Stitcher's Apprentice is the pick. Why did I take Traitorous Blood? Because I thought I could get Stitcher's Apprentices later than I could get Traitorous Bloods, and I wanted multiples of both in my deck. I do end up getting really late Stitcher's Apprentices, I think, but only one or something, and I don't get enough other red to want to do it. This pack has another Apprentice and another Blood, but I think Rage Thrower is the easy pick here. The format's slow enough that he can just, like, well, he wins the game for you very easily, and does so in a way that avoids creature combat, which I think is tough to get involved in this set a lot of the time. So, just took him. Hopefully the replays are still around so I can show you him in action, because it was pretty sweet. At this point I think I have 2 red cards, so Festerhide Boar is a better card than Kessig Wolf for sure, but I took the Kessig Wolf thinking maybe I was going to be like sort of straight blue-red. Lost in the Mist here. This card should not be going around this late. Like, I understand that it's a 5-mana counterspell, and that's why people are undervaluing it a lot. But with all of the werewolves in the format, being able to pass your turn with mana up is just extremely valuable. You're getting something out of passing the turn with mana up, whereas in other formats, just leaving 5 mana up for the telegraphed counterspell was a lot worse. Like, leaving 5 mana up for telegraphed counterspell gets considerably better when you do it with 2 7/7 creatures in play. And it bounces a dude as well. Take Grizzled Outcasts here for sure. Moonlist is going around very late. I don't know how to value that card really. I suspect it's not great. Oh, sorry. I took Rally the Peasants. Just take that out of a super aggressive deck, which I may have trouble with. These guys, well, I guess we should still talk about them. Elter's Reap, I think, is actually a very good card with all of the morbid triggers, and very little in the way of card advantage in the set, so I'm quite surprised to see it this late. I think that's undervalued. Hysterical Blindless is maybe playable out of the board somewhere, but yeah, none of that's too exciting. So, Endless Ranks of the Dead is like the cool card in this pack, but Spider Spawning is by far the most powerful. There are going to be a lot of decks in which I really hate spider spawning, but getting it early enough in the draft to make it really good, I think it's something I'm happy to first pick, especially out of a fairly unexciting pack. I suspect that Thraben's Century is overvalued by a lot of people. It's just a 5/4 creature once you get it going, and it's not as easy as it looks to get it going. Like, blue has 4/5 creatures for that casting cost without having to kill one of your creatures to transform. So yeah, I just took the spider spawning and planning to make lots of spiders. And at this point I'm really thinking graveyard blue-based control sort of deck, and that's why I take Deranged Assistant out of this pack. I think Deranged Assistant is an amazing, it's an archetype defining card. All of the exile a creature from your graveyard to play this creatures, who are extremely, extremely good, by the way. 3/4 flyer for 3, 4/5 creature for 4, 6/9 trampler for 6. Those cards are extremely underpriced. And Deranged Assistant not only accelerates you into them, but also turns them on by getting creatures in your yard. So we just go with him. Midnight Haunting is very strong. I think people are overvaluing Battleground Geist in this set. It's probably a blue-white card, although it ends up going like 12th or 13th, I think, at tables or something, so maybe it's not actually being overvalued. But I don't think just a 3/3 flyer for 5 is anywhere near as good in this set. Maybe it is against decks that don't have Silent Departure, but I'm going to be first picking that for a while. Probably Shimmering Grotto is the pick here. I'm pretty sure I took Forbidden Alchemy. I like Shimmering Grotto more, I think. See what's happening. Pick 4. Basically nothing here. So I just take the Occultist, which I think is fine. Ambush Viper is a fine dude, but I'm planning to play like 1 or 2 Forests at this point. Drown Yard is an interesting card, which is very difficult to value, but I don't think it's as good as Mauler or Geistcatcher's Rig, and I think that's where the pick is here. I ended up going with the Rig, although I can definitely see taking the Mauler over it. Again, Geistcatcher's Rig only matters if they have relevant flyers, the upside. I think the way you're more likely to lose to creatures is a very quick rush, in which case the Mauler just shuts everything down straight away. Pitchburn Devils I think is way too slow. It doesn't do very much. So I get a pick 6 Silent Departure, which I Windmill Slam. Moon Heron's in the pack. Moon Heron, I think, is another one of the cards that looks better than it is, but it's still very good. 3 power 5 for 4, yeah, that's definitely, you want to be there. Lost in the Mist looks like the pick out of here. I think Ranger's Guile is probably a little undervalued. Just because it's the only one cast and cost combat trick in the set, so being able to do stuff like that is pretty cool. Also, the set has werewolves in it, so being able to cast 2 spells in a turn can often decide the game. Caravan Vigil is probably being undervalued a decent amount too, although it's still not great. But basically, cards that cost 1 mana in this set have a massive sort of passive upside with their interactions with werewolves that you should try to be aware of. Something like Think Twice, for example, you need to rate much higher. Not much going on here, is there? I think I like Travel Preparations. Well, no, I don't. I remember thinking, ooh, travel preparations can be pretty good, and then remembering that I had unsummons and getting sort of excited about other people playing it against me. So I think I took Brainweevil again, just thinking maybe I would be black. Here I just think I took the Walking Corpse because I was a little creature light. Yeah, Forbidden Alchemy out of this pack for sure. Looks good. I really want to Gnaw to the Bone in my deck this entire time because I think that's... people are not used to life gain being good, but Gnaw to the Bone is actually good in certain decks, like decks that play Forbidden Alchemy and enough creatures. I got another Woodland Sleuth, pick 11 instead of pick 2, slight improvement. Yeah, Ancient Grudge here, just to deal with big artifacts of some sort. For some reason I get a 13th pick Mauler. The guy's insane. And we're on to pack 3, where it looks like I'm just taking Deranged Assistant to me. Creepy Doll is a card, but it's not a very exciting one. Costs 5, has 1 power. It's sort of hard to attack into it, but only with ground beaters. And you sort of hope that you can deal with ground beaters. In this format especially. Yeah, Deranged Assistant seems fine. Blazing Torch is just like mediocre removal. I think that's okay. Silver Inlaid Dagger. I think people are overvaluing equipment in the set quite a bit, but like I don't think it very often swings combat actually in your favor enough. But my opinion of this set is quite heavily weighted by my opinion that people aren't drafting blue correctly, and you can draft really good blue decks, and I don't think equipment is good against blue decks. Here there's a Fireball in the pack, and I do have red cards, but again I just don't think that removal is great. I don't think it's a tempo oriented set at all, so I don't think burning them out is going to happen much. Sorry, I do think it's a tempo-oriented format, but I don't think it's, it is in a way that Devil's Play is good. God, that's hard to explain. Like, say I get a Civilized Scholar down and Silent Departures in my hand. It's pretty likely that you take 10 there from my 3-drop. I guess what I'm trying to say is the creatures you can play in a tempo-based deck are so good that I don't think burn is as important a part of it. I think you can just kill them with creatures, usually. Not to say the Devil's Play is a bad card. If I was heavier red, or if Stitch Drake wasn't in the pack, I would be taking Devil's Play. But with not enough red to flash it back, and with a Stitch Drake, who I think is just amazing. That's a 3/4 flyer for 3 mana, by the way. Assault Griffin, a 3/2 flyer for 4 mana, is a card I'm happy to first pick in M12. Moon Heron, which I think is a very good card, turns out to be a 3/2 for 4 mana. This is a 3/4 for 3 mana. So yeah, as long as you have enough in the way of Deranged Assistant and Forbidden Alchemy, that card is just absolutely absurd. You get another one. This is why I don't think Battleground Geist is as good as a 3 mana 5/5 flyer. 5 mana 3/3 flyer would be in other sets. God, pretty soon there will be a 3 mana 5/5 flyer. There is a 3 mana 5/6 flyer in this set, I guess. Right? Scab Ruinator. Anyway, Stitch Drake is, well, compare the cards. Just look at them. You know? I think this dude's pretty good, the Watch Keep, but you have to be able to flip him. I think he's a red-blue card, because that lets you clear the way, and lets you pass the turn with counterspells up. Think Twice seems like the pick out of this pack. don't have much else to say. This pack has Think Twice and a very late Creeping Renaissance. I ended up taking the Renaissance just like barely. It seemed like a very powerful effect, and I thought that my deck would be filling up the yard quite a lot. I ultimately ended up not playing it main deck though, just because the deck didn't seem like it needed more to do with its mana. Sorry. This pack has no blue or green cards in it, nor does it have anything that I'm excited to splash. I just took Ashmouth Hound. I got a 7th pick Pyroclasm. This is not as good in this set with lots of 2/3s, but it's still amazing. It also doesn't hit flyers, but it's still amazing. Yeah. It's a flashback Pyroclasm. Stitcher's Apprentice over Drownyard. Yeah, quite happy. Stitcher's Apprentice is a great dude. He's one reason that creature combat just doesn't really exist, because he's like a Maze of Ith at common for 2 mana. Got a Knot of the Bone, which I'm pretty happy about. Gonna main deck it. Burning Vengeance. I don't think you can really get enough flashback spells for it to be good, usually. But I'm excited to try some other time. I'm really lucky to get this late Shimmering Grotto, because without it my mana would have been pretty bad. I think I just take pretty much nothing. Sensory Deprivation is fine against an aggressive deck. 14th pick Boll Weevil. Okay, so I'll show you my my build. If I can, I guess that's all in the window, is it? It is. So I'm playing blue, green, red with 3 black flashback costs. Explains my mana. I got nothing much in the way of fixing, just Shimmering Grotto, but I'm heavy blue enough that it doesn't matter that much. I can sort of afford to have 1 or 2 dead cards in hand while I'm finding the right color for them. And I have 2 Forbidden Alchemy and a Think Twice to get me there quicker. Other than that, it's just lots of creatures that stop me dying. So Apprentice, Stitch Drake, Occultist, Scab, Makeshift Mauler. I think every single one of those has more power than toughness. And then, like, Woodland Sleuth, I threw it in because I wanted 14 creatures, but he's not very exciting. Probably gets turned on a decent amount. And I have a few random win the game cards. So Grizzled Outcast is a 7/7 who, if I get in the right situation, he can end it pretty quick. By the way, these creatures are really good and they can end it pretty quickly if the opponent stumbles too. Rage Thrower, especially with Spider spawning, can end the game pretty quickly. Spider spawning just on its own can do a pretty good job of it. Geist Sketcher's Rig, I guess it's just another 4/5. And yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna see, it looks like my internet went out again, it does that. I'm gonna see if I can load up. Oh, actually first I want to show you. Let's run through this with Channel Fireball at our side, see what they think of my picks. Yeah, I'd rather take the Grotto, though they rate the Woodland Sleuth very highly. I think too high, probably. They have Mauler at the same as Harvest Pyre, but lower than Brimstone Volley. I think Pyre is better than Brimstone Volley. It just sort of kills anything, any creature. Brimstone Volley often doesn't have enough to kill the creatures in this format. Heretic's Punishment? That's the red card? I think that card is way too slow, in my opinion, but sure, I guess it's a very powerful effect. Just way too slow. I like the Bat more than Scab, and I think they have Somberwald way too highly valued, and Altar's Reap seems low. Okay, nothing much happening there. Stitcher's Apprentice, they value as a 6. That's probably fair. I should probably have taken that. That guy is pretty good. I think he's better than Rage Thrower. It's probably fair too. Should have taken Festrihide Boar there, probably. Lost in the Mist, they have pretty high. I agree with that. Outcasts is good, yeah. Yeah, let's look at Pack 2. Phew, is this exciting for you guys? Sort of exciting for me. They have Spider Spawning at a 5, Smite the Monstrous at a 6. That's so high for Smite the Monstrous. Yeah, I think that's probably okay. Lantern Spirit, they have very high. It is a very good card. But I don't know... Like, their ratings seem to top out around 7. I don't know that it's quite that good. I agree with Spider Spawning being fairly low, I guess, but if you build a deck for it, it becomes much more powerful. Battleground Geist at 7? That's the 3/3 flyer for 5, isn't it? Is it? Yeah. How on earth do you justify rating that a 7? What? That seems very, very wrong. What if they value Stitch Drake then? Like 95? Drained Assistant at 6.5. I agree that that's very good. Geistcatcher's Rig at 7.5. Yeah, it's a solid dude. Silent Departure again. Makeshift Mauler should not be in that pack anymore. Okay. Run over to pack 3. Wow, that pack has a lot of good cards, and apparently Blazing Torch at 7.5? Are you serious? Why? Because Shock is that good? You want to pay 2 more mana for it? Guess they think that the cannot be blocked text is relevant or something? I don't know. It might be a little bit relevant sometimes. Fine with Deranged Assistant. Stitch Drake they have at 7.25. So it is better than Battleground Geist, but somehow +1 toughness, -2 mana is only worth 0.25 value. It's a little harder to make it work, sure, but I don't think it's as hard as getting 2 more lands. Ties, Cuban Renaissance, save at 6. Gallows Warden. It's lower than Battleground Geist, I guess that makes some sense. Rolling Tumbler, they have 6. Seems okay. A lot of these ratings just seem sort of inconsistent to me, which is a little confusing. I wonder if you like sum it all, what they would say about the set. I'm gonna do that after I've done this video, actually do like Innistrad by the numbers. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I want to jump in and see if we cannot find a couple of games just to show the deck in action. Hopefully my internet holds up. I can get back on my phone, but I don't like to use my phone all that much. The bandwidth can get expensive. Looks like the answer is no, I am not connected to the internet. So I will get on my phone. Just a sec, I'm gonna load up a game. Alright, it looks like I have one game saved. I don't understand how Moto decides which games it's gonna save for you. But basically there's a starting hand. Ranged Assistant, goes Grizzly Bears. Probably not gonna be very relevant. I have a Knot of the Bone in hand, notice. I can gain any life if I need to. Minor note, when you tap the Ranged Assistant for mana, you always want to tap it before you're casting the spell, just to see what the card in the graveyard is. It's just... I can't imagine any way that that could be worse than not tapping it before you're casting the spell. Maybe it doesn't make any difference, but it just seems way better. Okay, we have a Forbidden Alchemy. So I think I took Silent Departure here. Or maybe even Forbidden Alchemy. No, I think it was Silent Departure. I can't cast the Makeshift Mauler, so I just put it in my yard. See what I did. Did take Silent Departure. Cast my Grizzled Outcasts. I decided to let him trade with me if he had Moment of Heroism. There isn't actually much in the format, in white or black, that justifies attacking a 2-2 into a 4-4. But he had the Altar's Reap instead, and just wanted to see if he'd get in for a bit more damage. Go aggro with my team. I decided just to blow the Unsummon there. I can flash it back, and at this point... Did he stumble on mana? I don't know. But anyway, seems like I'm on the aggro plan. Man, I think people were watching me while I was doing this, and I punted it pretty hard. But, okay, well, he can have Midnight Haunting or he can have Rebuke. Those are the two reasons to leave up 5 in white-black with a creature in hand. We obviously know he has the creature in hand. Versus Midnight Haunting, I want to just attack with this guy. Versus Rebuke, I want to attack with this guy and this guy. I'm going to turn on Woodland Sleuth and get him back anyway. So I decided just to attack with that. And then rather than make a Homunculus, I went ahead and got him back. It is random, so I could have got a Makeshift Mauler or Armored Scab as well. But either of those would have been fine. Just swinging in. Decides to trade using Moment of Heroism. I'm totally happy with him doing that. And we have a 4-4 again. He kills it. So now I have 2 power on the board. Very scary, right? But one of them makes Homunculi, so he cannot actually attack here because I just sacked Ranged Assistant, make a Homunculus, and block Slayer of the Wicked. So he just gets in with a flyer for 2. And taps out for a dragon. Perhaps the least exciting dragon I've ever seen. I decided to get rid of the Ranged Assistant. I'm looking for a red source to Pyroclasm, maybe. I don't know. Why did I do that? Maybe I wanted more creatures in my yard for spider spawning. Yeah, I think that's it. I decided I was just going to go for the spider spawning. I guess I decided to bounce the dragon, swing, and then do it. like the right way. So I get 6 spiders. Kills my Stitcher's Apprentice, which is good. He should do that. Play Makeshift Mauler. Oh, this is actually a cool game for you guys to be watching. Anyway, he swings with the dragon and I just take it. I could block infinitely with spiders, but if he has Moment of Heroism, I don't even kill it. And I have Knot of the Bone in hand, so I don't care about my life total terribly. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm at 31 life right now. I'm not planning on telling him that. Oh, apparently I am. Okay. We're just gonna tell him that I have that. Decided to bounce the dragon again, why not? So yeah, I can just hang out for a while. Hit my red, so I have lethal now. If the Rage Thrower lives long enough for me to untap and cast Pyroclasm, and I decide I need to go for it for some reason, because if I cast Pyroclasm and he responds by killing Rage Thrower, it's pretty terrible for me. He just kills a Rage Thrower straight out, so whatever. Decides for some reason to stop attacking with Dearly Departed. Now I have a Cultist, which again means I can win with the Temblor. I just need to be careful about it, not letting the Occultist die, and I don't have quite enough creatures to deck him yet. So yeah, not much is happening. Get a Stitched Drake. Thing is gigantic. Draw the Swamp, flashback the Spider Dudes. He kills an irrelevant creature. Bonds of Faith. He has equipment, look at that. I still couldn't see any reason to go for it, I guess. Well, what am I doing? I'm not attacking with something that can kill his Bitter Heart Witch. I guess I just added it up and figured I had lethal or something. And then I decided to put cards in his graveyard. I don't know. I don't really think I need to attack there. Maybe I'm just worried about him having the dude who makes me discard my cards. The Wachimadang. The dude's pretty good. But whatever. Plays a 2/2 flyer. Very relevant. And I get to go for it with Counterspell backup, so I just cast a Pyroclasm and he scoops. He was getting decked and dying next turn. So that's cool. That's actually the only game I played that went long. Every other game I just killed them with underpriced blue creatures. Oh, there was one game in the finals that went long because neither of us played more than 1 power to the board for like 8 turns or something. It was a weird game. Well, yeah. So that's the deck in action. Why I drafted it, what I was thinking, what was going on while I was playing it. Knot of the Bone. Like for reals. Okay, so here's the deal. I have played Life Gain in Constructed, just straight up Life Gain. I played, I don't know if you guys remember the Ebony Owl Nasuke deck, which everyone called Owl, although I did not play the Ebony Owls in the deck. I guess it was still called Owl, but I was playing it more as a control deck rather than a tempo deck. I guess I was still playing it as a tempo deck because I was still trying to bounce all their lands and let them have no spells, but I was not interested in just killing them on turn 4. I figured I could play cards that worked better in my game plan and kill them on like turn 20. Anyway, I played Autochthon Worm and Nourishing Shoal in that deck, so I could pitch Nourishing Shoal for 16 life if I drew both. Had muddled the mixture to tutor for the Shoal, so I think I was at like 4 Worm and 3 Shoal. For 16 life. There are a lot of control sort of strategies, especially with Muramad Phantasm as a card. The card's a 5/1 flyer for 5, and for 1 blue you sacrifice it, shuffle it into your library, and then just mill your deck until you find another one which you put in play. So that fills up your yard very quickly, and it's a 5/1 flyer, so it's a decent win condition too. Consider that it's very hard to kill, because if they target it with removal, it just goes away, although you do need mana up. Anyway, I think there are creature-based control strategies which can just completely blank any sort of burn matchup just with Knot of the Bone, gain a billion life. With cards like Myriad Phantasm, I even wonder if Knot of the Bone is powerful enough. Well, this one's more the power of Myriad Phantasm, but I wonder if you end up wanting decks with more than 60 cards in them, now that Innistrad is a set. Like, really, the new cards that I think are relevant from this set are Knot of the Bone and Myriad Phantasm. And there's little power creeping creatures here and there, like a 3/4 flyer for 3 is actually really good and probably constructed playable. Strumkirk Noble is a thing, but it's just Slith Firewalker. It's a thing that's been done before. Knot of the Bone is a new thing, and Myriad Phantasm is only comparable to Traumatize, which is a 5 casting cost sorcery which does nothing else. So I think the fact that both of those cards exist, like, changes Magic. It's really exciting to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these sorts of things get used. Like, Knot of the Bone isn't the only one, of course. There's other stuff that cares about the creatures in yard, like the spider spawning, like Creeping Renaissance. You can have a blue-green sort of creature-based control deck which plays Forbidden Alchemies, Myriad Phantasms, Knot of the Bone, spider spawning, and more than 60 cards. I think that would be pretty cool. It might not get out of block constructed, but it exists and it's there to think about as a deck builder. So yeah, I've really been enjoying Innistrad. Good work, Magic developers. And I'm going to be working a little on the set, just the data and stuff, seeing if I can make pretty graphs for later.